Hey friends, welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, crazy people, and everything in between. Hope you're all doing wonderful today, and as usual, let's get right into today's Reddit posts. HOA created a literal maze of roads to keep people from cutting through. My neighborhood is in a city that is made for cars. Because of the simple fact, a lot of the issues that the homeowners association cares about has to do with them. Our neighborhood is sat on a corner of an intersection for two major roads. They're not highways, but they're still about 4 lanes wide. Because so many people drive here, the frequency of people that drive by in loud cars or ride with their music all the way up is kind of astronomical. A lot of those cars used to cut through my neighborhood, to get from one major road to another without dealing with the traffic turning around the corner, which is really not bad at all. I honestly think it takes more time to cut through. Now here's where the HOA starts doing crappy HOA stuff. At first, the plan was to make it a gated community, but the complaint was that the houses in the neighborhood are all historical in some way or another, and because of this, there are a lot of people who like to come through and cruise to view the houses. I guess this appealed to their vanity about their houses. So naturally, the next thing to do was to create a literal effing maze out of the streets. So they had a cement company come out and close off a few of the entrances to the major road, and create these little redirecting turnarounds, so if you make a wrong turn, you are immediately redirected and deposited right back out to the major road you came from. So now when I go to my house, I can't just drive straight down A Street to turn right on B Street to get to my house. It was literally that easy before. Now I have to go down A Street 3 blocks, be redirected to C Street, turn right on D Street only to be redirected again 1 block into E Street, and then finally turn left on A Street again, and then finally to B Street where my house is. It's not super horrible for us. Since I take that route every day, I'm able to memorize it pretty easily. But it's actual murder trying to tell people how to get here for the holidays and other occasions. Followed for close to a mile by a crazy Karen while walking my dog. Last night around 10 p.m. I was taking my dog for a walk through the neighborhood. We don't have a yard, so we have to walk her 3 times per day so she can do her business. I always pick up after her, and people usually give a friendly wave when they see us. Not tonight. My dog starts doing her duty at the edge of someone's yard, while I stand on the street holding the leash. I'm starting to pull out my poop bag when this woman comes running up to us, yelling, "Don't let your dog poop here." I was surprised and weirded out, but I told her, "Don't worry, I'm picking it up." She keeps getting closer to us, yelling, "No, don't let your dog poop on my property. My window is open and I don't want to smell it. Control your dog, make your dog stop." My dog is mid-turd at the moment, so I explained that dogs don't work that way. I told her I can't stop her from pooping, but I will pick it up. The lady's not listening to me and just keeps getting closer to us, yelling about dog poop or something. My dog starts growling at her, so I warn her by saying, "Please don't get close to my dog, she does bite." Then the lady says, "Okay, I'm calling the cops. They gonna arrest you." I say that's fine, and ask her to please go in her house and call the cops. She tries to enter her house, but it seems whoever she lives with has locked her out of the house. I wonder why. She starts running towards me again, and I again warn her that my dog will bite. My dog is growling and barking now, because dogs don't like screaming Karens in their face. Karen starts screaming at me to pick up the poop, and that she's calling the police to have me arrested, etc. I said, "Ma'am, I'll deal with that later. Right now your hostile behavior is creating an unsafe situation for me and my dog, so we're going to leave now." She starts screaming profanities, calling me names, and chasing after me. I just continue walking away, thinking it'll end there. Nope, she continues to follow me down the street. I hear her yelling into her phone at the police to come arrest me. I hear her telling them I threatened her. She continues to walk behind me at about a 15-foot distance. She's now yelling in another language at someone who I assume is the person who locked her out of the house. I hope she'll stop following me eventually so I can go home. I don't want her to see where I live, so I take several detours, but she just keeps following me from 15 feet away. I don't have my phone, so I can't call for help. I decide to head into the downtown area to find someone to help. This lady followed me almost a mile into town. From 15 feet away, she just silently followed me, walking my dog through neighborhoods, business districts, and across the highway into town. She had her phone out recording me. I continued walking through town with the lady following, recording me on her phone. I finally ran into a woman who approached me with a very concerned look on her face. I said, "Can you please help me? This lady has been following me for over an hour." The nice lady said, "I know, I've been watching this go on for a minute." She confronted the Karen, telling her to leave me alone. The nice lady looked at me and said, "Just go." So while Karen was busy yelling at the nice lady about how my dog pooped or whatever, I just started running. I ran through a couple businesses and onto a back street and managed to lose Karen. I walked a full mile back to my house and locked the door behind me. I don't know what kind of crazy that was. All I know is that I feel really bad for whoever was inside that house with the doors locked. I hope they're okay. I warned her. Camp edition. In the late 70s, I went to Girl Scout camp. It was great. But one night, they served boiled spinach, and as fate would have it, I'd been playing with pond moss that very afternoon. Add to this, I'd tried spinach once at a friend's house and I threw up. Mom despised spinach, so it hadn't crossed my plate any other time. At dinner that night, our vegetable was boiled spinach. I told the counselors, "I can't eat this. I'll throw up. If you don't take at least 3 brownie bites, you can't have dessert." "What is dessert?" I queried. "Ice cream sandwiches," answered the counselors. "Damn, game on." "Okay, I want that. I'm going to take a bite and puke. Should I aim for the railing?" It was semi-outdoors. The counselors had stopped caring. Sounds good. I took the bite, swallowed it, and promptly puked over the railing. Suddenly, they are all action and rushed me to the one-stall bathroom. That was occupied. I puked in the sink until the vile green stuff was out of my system. As I wiped my mouth with a paper towel, I said, "So do I need to take my other 2 bites?" Several counselors asked me shortly thereafter, "If you knew you were going to throw up, why did you eat it?" "I love ice cream sandwiches," I answered. My sweet mother raised hell upon my return from camp that summer, and the forced 3-bite rule went away at Camp Winnica for many, many years. My principal almost killed me. I, 14 female, have severe steroid-resistant asthma and other medical and breathing conditions. At my school, there is a problem with people spraying perfume and Axe body spray. This has caused so many problems. I have had over 10 severe life-threatening asthma attacks because of this. At this point, I have missed 3 or 4 months of school because of my last asthma attack because it set something else to go wrong. I have been doing homebound school, and because of other things like pneumonia and hospitalizations. But this is where I think I may be in the wrong. So I was having a severe asthma attack and I went to the school nurse. The principal came in and started going on and on about how I was just being dramatic, how her son has asthma and his attacks don't look like this. Then she was saying that I just need to calm down and my asthma was not that bad. Then she looked at me and asked me, "Do you like having asthma attacks?" The school nurse did not go against the principal. At this point, I could not talk, and then after 20 minutes, the nurse finally called my mom. When my mom came, I was cold. My hands and feet were blue and numb, and I could not walk. When we got to the ER, I had to be hospitalized, and had to do a 4-hour nebulizer. Then we had to meet with the principal, and I was upset with her, so I said to her, "You should really consider that your actions have affected me in a negative way, and your son does not have my health problems, and it is really rude and dismissive. What you did could have killed me." But now I don't know what to do. This is also not the only instance of this happening at this school. This has happened multiple times. Putting a lien on my brother's house and refusing to remove it until he pays me. I do house renovations as a business. Even when I do work for family and friends at a discount, I have a contract. My nephews are getting bigger and they want separate rooms. My brother asked me to help him finish his basement, make a couple of rooms down there, add a washroom, add a kitchenette, and wire up a family room. I priced it out and said I would charge him $32,000, including materials. This was a sizable discount. The bathroom alone, I would charge anyone else $15,000. His wasn't even roughed in. He never paid me. He always had excuses. I paid for the material and I paid my guys for the work. We did it when I had downtime, so I didn't lose out on other money, but it still sucked to get shafted. So I put a construction lien on the house. He didn't care and I wasn't going to make him homeless. That was 2 years ago. Now he got a new job and has to move. And to get a new house, he has to sell his current house, which he can't do because there is a lien against the property. He called me to get me to remove it. He promised he would pay me as soon as it sold. I told him, "F you, pay me." My parents called me to tell me that they would pay what he owes. I said I would agree so long as he paid them back, and if he didn't, then any money he didn't pay back had to come out of any inheritance we were getting paid, God forbid, and that interest started accruing from the day of the loan. They agreed that that was fair. My brother called me to scream at me for involving my parents in our inheritance. I reminded him that he involved them, not me. He finally took the money out from a line of credit and paid me, with interest. I'm a reasonable man. The house sold over asking, and the finished basement suite made a huge difference on what he got. He is still pissed at me for doing it, but I did everything legal and by the books. He's only pissed at you for doing it because you did probably the only thing that would actually get him to cough up the money, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to sell the house and move. I would also argue that OP's brother trying to cheat him out of money like that is even scummier because they're family. He probably thought that because they're brothers, he could get away with doing this, when he knows that with any other business that isn't run by a family member, it just wouldn't work. So honestly, good for OP for actually playing by the book and not going easy on him. Boomer mad we didn't thank him for his service. This happened a few years ago when I used to work at a specific type of store that almost specifically caters to old people. Think greeting cards. I was organizing and restocking next to the register/front door, where a coworker of mine was checking out a customer wearing a Vietnam veteran hat. They exchanged small talk, he bought his things and left. No more than 5 minutes pass when the customer walks back into the store to return the things he just bought. He is visibly upset. Confused but obliging, my coworker begins the process. As he's processing the return, the man leans over and tells him, "I'm returning this because no one in the store thanked me for my service." My coworker, despite being the same age, was not on the same wavelength as this man. He gave him the most what the hell look I've ever seen. I guess he expected him to grovel and say something to the effect of, "Oh, I'm so sorry, thank you for your service," because he just waited there for a moment. When it was apparent that nobody cared, he left in a disgruntled huff. As the years passed, I learned what stolen valor was, and I'm pretty sure I witnessed it with this man. It was such a bizarre experience. And a commenter said, "I've spoken to veterans before and a lot of them told me that in most but not all cases where supposed veterans pull stuff like this, it's stolen valor, and real vets don't demand people to thank them for their service." I'd say it more so depends on the individual. I don't know if I agree that no real vet would do this, though I think among the people that do this, many of them are probably fake. Whether or not this guy was a real one though, who knows? Anyway guys, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, I appreciate it. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So have an awesome day, take care, and I'll see you next time.